Today's St. Patrick's Day, which is also...
Where's my green beer?
Our 100th episode.
100.
100. The centennial, baby.
I can't believe I talked to you guys 100 times.
Do we get an award for this?
We get a pat on the back.
Yeah.
Is there like a podcast awards show or something that we can be a part of?
Well, if this were television, 100
The
episodes.
awardees.
Yeah. The 100 episodes means we're eligible for syndication. So if someone wants to syndicate our podcast,
If anybody wants to steal our podcast, pay us for it, and then put it on their own website.
Sure.
Ooh, I like it.
Shutter, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What we should do is we should basically hijack the Grave Talk website. Or the Graves Talk. Which one's the other one?
Graves Talk.
The Grave Talks website.
Graves Talks. It's 2 S's.
The dudes that stole our name.
Yeah.
And jack their website and syndicate our shit on their shit.
There you go. Fact, listeners, you don't know, but we got podcast beef. Podcast beef.
Bam, bam. It's
So,
actually, it's not really.
It's
beef,
on site.
Well, luckily they don't have anything to do with horror movies. They do about real ghost like hauntings of areas, so we don't quite cross, but we do get a lot of their listeners going, hey, I've got a ghost story for you guys, please give me a call. It's like, hey, you got the wrong Grave Talk, brother.
What's the Ghostbusters phone number?
How are you not saying that like Hulk Hogan?
Listen, brother, you got the wrong Grave Talk.
What are you going to do when our podcast runs wild over you?
Look, when the cream rises to the top, you'll find us up.
Oh yeah!
We switched over to Macho Man now. Woo!
Welcome back to hitting the mat.
We're just gonna
We're talking about wrestling.
We're just going to spend an hour trying to do our best vocalizations of our favorite wrestlers.
Give me your best Coco Beware, John.
I don't even know who that is. It must be before my time.
Go, Hacksaw Jim Duggins.
Don't know.
Hey-o!
Doink the Clown.
That was after my time.
Yokozuna.
That was my time. I might be racist.
Isn't it? I mean, he was a wrestler.
No, me trying to imitate his
I don't
accent.
think it has to be racist.
Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man.
Didn't he just sound normal?
Yeah, you kind
he
of sounded wrong.
Yeah, he didn't really have an accent.
All right, you're right. It is our 100th episode. It is St. Patrick's Day, and we're going to do a film that I assume John is very excited about today.
Oh, amped.
To celebrate the holiday. That is St. Patty's Day. We're doing Leprechaun Returns.
You told me it was Medea's Boo, too.
Yeah, I tricked you. I'm sorry about that, but we're going to talk about John's favorite, but we're bringing him back from space. He's not in space anymore.
No.
Thank God.
But he is back on Earth in his old shitty well. So I don't know if that's an improvement from space. I think he would agree that that's a big downgrade. He was in fucking space. Now he's in a well.
He was in a dude's
galaxy at
pee
his
hole.
fingertips.
Yeah. Hilarious. If you're not peeing out leprechauns this St. Patrick's Day, what are you doing with your life?
Oh my God. I'm sure there's some frat bro that's just got a new idea in his head thanks to you.
Thanks to Leprechaun 4. Let's give credit where it's due.
All right, well, let's get through the title. Hey, all you creatures from cyberspace. Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Grave Talk podcast. My name is Mark, again joined by Garrett and John. Fellas, how we doing on this festive Irish holiday?
Festivy.
Oh.
Yeah. Just
Okay.
made that one up on
Yeah.
the spot.
Show me in Webster where it says that.
Festivy? Yeah, it's going to be right around the back somewhere.
I don't see either one of you wearing green. Y'all getting pinched.
Yeah.
God damn it. I forgot.
I boycott that for no reason.
Yeah, I don't really do it either, but I'm doing okay. I'm excited to talk about a franchise that I still do not care for.
Are you excited?
No.
Oh.
I actually enjoyed this movie, but I will never find a leprechaun entertaining.
Well, you should.
Maybe not. I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about like the leprechaun as a mythical creature, a cryptozoological creature.
I recommend you watch the third one. It has a whole CD scene telling you all about leprechauns. It really gets you into the do's, the don'ts, care and feeding, all of that kind of thing.
Isn't the third one in the hood?
No, that's like way later. The third one, you can listen to me talk about this on a different podcast.
I guarantee you've talked about this at some point.
Is the third one a History Channel original?
Might as well be.
Right after the Ancient Alien program?
Well, one of the things you learn about leprechauns in the third one is if you get bit by a leprechaun, you become a leprechaun. And we watch that happen to somebody, and it's as glorious as it sounds. You see, having only brief glimpses into the Leprechaun franchise, you think it somehow went off the rails when it went to space. No, that was on the rails.
They
for this
conditioned us.
franchise.
They conditioned us for this transition.
The Shyamalan twist was there was never any rails to begin with.
Yeah, they're just winging it. They sit down, they open up a screenplay, and they're like, Leprechaun, and then they just they Mad Libs this shit.
I don't think we've actually mentioned the title of the movie we're talking about today.
Leprechaun Returns.
I did.
Yes.
Oh, okay. The 2018 sci-fi TV classic.
Oh, it's bound to be a classic for sure. College kids in 20 years will be watching this, getting high off their ass, laughing at it.
Okay, confession time. I actually enjoyed this movie.
Me too. It was great.
As much as I just do not care for rhyming creatures of any kind.
What other creatures rhyme?
I don't know. I'm sure there's something out there.
I want to know, Garrett.
I bet the Toll House elves rhyme. They seem like a rhyming bunch.
An elf?
Maybe the Yeti.
Elves, yeah, rappers.
Ooh, I want to see Yetis rhyme. I bet they'd be all broken English.
Yeah.
Maybe.
There you go.
I mean, it's...
Yetis, elves, rappers, leprechauns, all kinds of mythical creatures.
Rappers?
Rappers are not bust to get at us. Seriously, man. When's that new album coming out? You keep dropping new conglomerate hits, but you haven't hit us with the new fire. Is that what the kids say? The new fire?
Close enough.
I think you just made up a new phrase.
No, I think that's a real thing.
Yeah.
I think I've heard that on the
Dylon
YouTube.
spits hot fire.
I guess
Oh.
I'm out of touch. That's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say.
We should talk about this movie.
That was a Chappelle show deep cut for y'all out there.
So this film came out in 2018. Like Garrett said, it's a sci-fi production. I guess they're starting to get into that a little bit more. They did release a Critters extension of that universe.
I thought that was Shudder.
They did one. Okay, so side note, Critters originally had an 8 to 10 part mini-sode thing going on for some defunct mobile video service that Shudder picked up, and they had
Okay.
that there. Sci-Fi also did their own thing where they introduced a female critter, and I think that creature was white or something. I haven't watched it yet.
Did
Was
it
it
have,
called a critette?
Probably.
did it have critter titties?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Critettes do not have
I was
that.
about to say, I really hope they didn't make it anatomically correct on screen because that just ruined what the critters look like.
Yeah, I hope not. But I'm going to check it out at some point just to see how that one went. Especially, like you guys are saying, this particular Leprechaun feels like it's in step with the rest of them.
I'm gonna,
I felt like they made another one of those.
Well, this is done like Halloween 2018. This is basically a sequel to the first movie that negates everything that happened after the first movie. So,
And how do you feel about that, John?
Well, I don't know that it negates, only because I don't think every movie's about the same leprechaun. It is played by the same actor, but if you watch him...
wait a minute. Is your head chronology on this, or your head canon on this,
Yeah.
like that every single Leprechaun movie is a different Leprechaun, even though it's played by the same actor?
Has to be. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. He is in...
Oh, you're trying to make sense of it, are you? There's no sense here.
He was in space. Then he was in Brooklyn in the 70s.
I think John's lost his mind after 100 episodes.
No, I found it. I found my mind, okay? I'm seeing clearly now.
Where is my mind?
No, I think this
I was
is...
like, you would free your mind, the rest will follow.
Both good songs.
This is just continuing the story of the OG Leprechaun.
Now look, Leprechaun in the Hood and Leprechaun Back to the Hood got to be the same one, right?
I
Because he's
didn't-
going back.
Yeah, that's fair. So there's
Okay.
there's precedent for this.
Now I'll give you space
Yeah.
because they never actually told us how the fuck he got up there.
Sure.
And
Well,
they never
then
actually call him a leprechaun either.
True, he was just the monster.
Yeah.
He could just be an alien that looks like a leprechaun.
we saw how he got up there. That's where he keeps his leprechaun cave. He's in an asteroid.
We didn't
how
see
does that
how he got
seem-
up
yeah,
there. We
that
just saw him up there.
That's where he lives because he's not the same leprechaun. He can't be because he's in a well, then he's in Las Vegas, then he's in the past, then he's in space, then he's in the hood. These are all different leprechauns, is what I'm getting at here. Maybe all leprechauns just look alike. Maybe unknowingly, I'm just a leprechaun racist and think they all look the same.
Does it hurt to stretch that hard, John?
Yeah,
No, I'm very flexible.
I'm gonna go ahead and let you know that I officially disagree with you on that because they did not put any effort or time into when they were planning these sequels. But you must agree with me right now that the one we're talking about today is definitely the same one from part one.
Yes, of course, absolutely. It's also my hot take: the second best leprechaun film to date.
Or behind Space.
Oh, don't put it
Are you
behind
putting Space One?
No.
No, I would go if I were actually going to recommend leprechaun films.
Hold on.
Leprechaun Returns, then Leprechaun in Space. You got to ease somebody into space. You open somebody up with space, you're really going to turn them off to the franchise. By the time they've seen one,
Kubrick is sitting there going like, so that's what I did wrong with 2001.
yeah,
Damn it.
you can't just start with space. You got to work your way up to space. So
That's fair. Well, this one is currently rated at 38% on Rotten Tomatoes out of the critics. There's 8 people that chimed in. 49% of the audience liked it. That's out of 112.
oh wow,
That's actually not bad for the audience score.
And I'll say out of the entire franchise, the Leprechaun series has 4 movies that have no ratings.
That sounds right.
Run into a Hellraiser situation.
Origin, I assume. Let's see if I can guess.
Okay.
Origin. Probably Back to the Hood. I can't even think of 4 other ones. I don't know them all. Not Space. They definitely rated Space. I can't think of any other ones. 2 and 3?
2 and 3 are not rated. Origins is not rated. Or no, you're wrong. Space is not rated.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the 4th. So you got 3 of the 4.
I'll take that. You know what? As a, I would say medium level Leprechaun expert, 3 out of 4 is pretty solid.
Medium. I think you're top of the country, dude. Yeah. So
He's the world's foremost Leprechaun expert.
I assume these no ratings have to do with the majority of the franchise was released on VHS or
Yeah.
DVD, right? So we're following in the same vein. This was a TV movie. It didn't get a theatrical release of any kind, but it was available for purchase on Vudu. I picked it up. I just finally got around to watching it, and I think it's definitely in tune with what the previous entries have done, right? It's got your rhyming leprechaun. I even would say that the actor that portrays him does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Do you want to give us the quick rundown of actors and
Why don't
stuff like that?
Here's what we got. So this one was directed by Steven Kostansky. This one stars Taylor Spratler as Lila, Pepe Sanuga as Katie, Cy Bennett as Rose, Lyndon Porco as the Leprechaun, Emily Reed as Meredith, Mark Holden as Ozzy, and Ben McGregor as Andy.
And whoever played Matt. Sorry, Matt.
And the voice of Jennifer Aniston, voiced by somebody who was not Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, I thought that was Jennifer Aniston's voice,
Dude,
honestly.
that lady did a great job.
Yeah, she really
It was pretty
killed it.
close. Yeah. And to give Matt credit, that was Oliver Jenkins.
All right, then.
Here's what the back of the Blu-ray has to say about Leprechaun Returns.
Wait, Blu-ray? I thought it was a TV movie.
Got a physical release.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Dude,
cool.
Leprechauniacs wanted their physical copies of this.
Is that a real term?
Leprechauniacs? Is that what we're
that's
going
what we
with?
call ourselves.
Oh. And you're the president. Not only am I the president, but I'm also a member.
That's it.
The deadly wisecracking leprechaun is back in all his glory. When the sorority sisters of the Alpha Upsilon house decide to go green and use an old well as their water source, they unwittingly awake a pint-sized green-clad monster. The leprechaun wants a pot of gold buried near the sorority house, but first he must recover his powers with a killing spree, and only the girls of AU can stop him.
Green.
Did you guys get the AU?
Yeah, gold.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck is that AU on this house for? And then my roommate was like, that's the periodic symbol for gold. And I was like, no, it's not. And I was like, oh God, I think it is. And it was. And I was like, that's dumb.
I'm amazed that they had the self-restraint to not make that whole thing rhyme.
Oh, the back of the box?
Yeah, I thought for sure that we were getting a
Oh,
rhyme.
good point. I'm glad they didn't.
I think they should have.
I mean, it would have been much more in character, but I'm surprised.
That is my biggest problem with the Leprechaun. Like, the Leprechaun specifically is his rhyming. I would be okay. You know what? Okay. Oh, this is going on record. I think I would be more okay with Leprechaun 4 being so bad it's good if he didn't rhyme so much in the movie.
Then that would just be a monster in space. If your leprechaun's not rhyming, I don't know that he meets
Who
the
says
criteria.
the leprechauns have to rhyme? Like, when did that become...
Ireland.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The leprechaun
So it's
inventor.
their fault, huh?
You're just over here trying to change the rules of Leprechania.
Yeah.
You don't get to do that.
Mr. Khan, who invented leprechauns.
Hi, my name is Leonard Kahn.
I'm just saying that's the one thing that annoys me more than anything in these movies is when he like does his little rhyming like things, especially in this one because the rhymes made no sense. Sometimes he'd like rhyme words that sounded similar but had nothing to do with the scene he's in, and I'm like, what are you doing?
That's what I love about it.
Well, let's grade our new Leprechaun movie. We're coming straight off of the WWE bomb Leprechaun Origins that nobody watched or gave a shit about.
WWE be like the wrestling.
Yes.
That's them.
They produced that one.
Oh, wow.
We got a brand new actor. We got almost a full new set of cast. We got one returning member. So let's go ahead and give this a grade. What would you grade his pun rhyme game? Out of 10. Let's go out of 10.
I would say 7.
Okay, and is that higher or lower than some of the other entries?
Higher than some for sure.
Okay, definitely.
I think there's obviously most of them suck. There's some great ones. I can only really think of one right now for whatever reason.
For whatever reason, I can tell you the reason. Because there's only one that probably didn't suck.
No, there's many that didn't suck, but there's one that I just think about. Maybe this speaks mostly to me, but from Leprechaun in the Hood.
The Leprechaun in the Hood ones, I actually kind of enjoyed some of those.
He says a friend with weed is a friend indeed.
I just say that daily. I don't know about leprechauns.
Doesn't he say, "Unhand me gold, you thieving hoods. I've got more something than Tiger Woods."
I've got more gold than Tiger Woods. That's,
Yes.
Yeah, that's also a good one.
Do you like that one, Garrett?
I'm a big fan.
You remembered it.
Yeah. I think the Hood's probably the bar. That's what you're measuring
yes.
the rest
Okay,
against.
It sounds like I need to watch
But
that.
the thing is, think about it. It had a bunch of rappers in it, so I feel like they had on-set help.
Yeah.
Be like Ice-T was like,
Well-
no, dog. No, here, hold on. Let me spit some bars for you.
He actively raps in that movie, and it's awesome. There's a whole scene where he raps.
Lep in the Hood
Yeah,
come to do no good.
That's it.
I remember. I wish I could scrub that shit from my brain, but yes,
What?
I remember it.
You mean you wish you could play it on iTunes every day as your alarm to wake up? Me too.
I already have the Monster Mash.
All right, so we give him a 7 out of 10 on the pun game. What about his look? He does not look the same. He's kind of got a more gnarled brown face
Yeah.
than he did in the
Well,
other
they
one.
said they based it off the 4th and 5th costumes. The 4th and 5th entries, they based the costume off of those ones
Yeah.
more than any other.
They like
costumes.
dialed it up, but I liked it. I thought it was fine.
I thought it looked cool.
Yeah.
I thought it looked pretty good, and I appreciated the fact that they even address it in movie, where he looks at himself in a mirror. He's like, "Oh, I look different now."
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
The
So
movie's very self-referential.
I'm gonna say, based on all the other ones, I'm gonna give his look an 8 out of 10.
Concur.
That's I will.
One
yeah,
of his better looks.
I think so.
All right, what about his power set in this one? Now, John, I'm gonna have to lean on your knowledge here.
It's so hard. His powers in the movie, or whatever his powers need to be to get the plot moving.
Power of convenience.
Yeah. So, I mean, he does a lot of the same shit that he always does. I don't even know that you can rate it. I would just say average. His power set is in line with what we've seen with other movies. It's nothing wild or
5 out of
crazy.
10,
Yeah.
6 out of 10, middle of the road.
I watched this last night in front of the podcast. Alex was like, "What the hell is his power set? What can leprechauns do and not do?" And I was like, "Whatever the script needs them to do."
At me, Ireland. What can they do?
The main things they can do, he has telekinesis. He can mimic voices. And
Which he didn't do hardly at all in this movie. He didn't do a lot
did
of
once,
yeah,
yeah.
he didn't do a lot of the sleight of hand foolery with the voice and looks.
And he's like far more physical than you would expect for given his size, right? He has, I would think, enhanced strength and stamina. You can't really beat him up.
Well, at some point, he picks a whole kid off the ground. I say
Yeah.
kid, a college kid above his head.
Okay, he picks that grown college kid up off the ground. The dude's arguably like 5'10", 5'11", maybe. This little leprechaun picks him up. If he just put his arms out like perpendicular from his side, he could have touched the ground. He was like maybe like 2 feet off the ground, and he's like, "Whoa, whoa!" And I was like, "You could put your feet down. The water's not that deep."
It's fine. And then they do touch on his main weakness, which is 4-leaf clovers. And if you throw shoes at him, he has to pick them up and polish them.
Is it 4-leaf clovers or clovers in general?
And it's 4-leaf specifically.
That was the whole shoe thing.
Yes,
Okay.
that is
so
a-
Wait,
that,
what?
That should have been. I hadn't seen those, but I remember you mentioning that previously.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, what about the shoes? What'd you just say?
Leprechauns have to pick up and polish and put away shoes if they see.
Wait, no, that's a real thing?
Yeah.
Okay, we could not figure out what the fuck. We kept making fun of him. I was like, "Oh, he's got some real OCD when it comes to these
Yeah.
shoes." Dude, holy shit, that's a real thing?
In fact, in one of the movies, which I can't remember which one now, I
He
think
goes into a Sash shoe factory.
no, I think it might be 3 or 4. I don't remember, but they distract him by just throwing shoes constantly at him. And one of, he's got to pick it up and dust it off and put it down. Like that's one of his.
They lock
his
him in a lady's
weaknesses.
Foot Locker. Just let him put it down.
So just in case we forget to mention this, there's a scene where he goes in and he's like, "Look at all these shoes haphazardly laid around. How would you do this to shoes?" And he puts them away and cleans them. So that makes
And then
more
he
sense.
throws
then.
the Crocs away, though.
Yeah, he's like, fuck these shoes, which is.
What do you say? Like, I'm doing history a favor with this one.
Yeah, I
I,
think
don't know
it's
why I'm doing a
fashion,
leprechaun voice.
Ah,
I'm not
because
gonna
you have to.
I'm not going to.
You got to keep it up through the episode. Get
I
it?
refuse to do it. I wouldn't do the Crypt Keeper. I'm not doing Leprechaun.
Well, let's finish out the rating here. The last one I have is menace factor. And to be fair,
2.
2, yeah, I'm gonna go with a 2 until he gets on top of that damn drone, and then I'd be scared as shit. Like, what the fuck?
We
is
have
happening?
the high ground. It is over.
They can fly now.
He looks so dumb on that thing, though.
Yeah, he's not even in movie. He's not very menacing because everyone just tries to take selfies with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. Everyone takes selfies with that dude, and he's on board for it.
I think a 2 out of 10 rates perfectly with his menace factor, but I think that's on par with the rest of the films.
Well, when Lila kicks him in the face and he goes flying across the room, she only has it's like a 3-inch kick, and he goes flying like he got hit by a Mack truck, and I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm not scared of this guy at all.
He's never like intimidating, right? Like to go back to In the Hood, 'cause I think it's the most famous one. Like he gets high as fuck in the hood. It's hilarious, that's like. And people around him, maybe one of his powers, more headcanon, is that they make it he exudes some sort of psychological thing where people don't freak out at the sight of him because people just generally throughout the film don't freak out at the sight of the leprechaun.
So like a Spider-Woman pheromone thing?
Yeah, something like that.
And maybe that's part of his
charm?
Well, I would say his advantages, right? Because people don't take him seriously, they allow him to come in, he starts doing his rhyme, and then he fucks them up.
Yeah.
If he was like scaring them right off the bat, people would be running away.
Ooh, like a Spud Webb from the Atlanta Hawks.
Sure. I know that
It's
reference.
a deep cut for all my NBA nerds from 1990s.
Now I have a question for you, Mark.
Okay.
Would the Leprechaun franchise be scarier if instead of being kind of monstrous looking, he looked like the Lucky Charms leprechaun?
No, I think that would be even more unbelievable, and then people would have been out on this franchise a lot faster.
Okay, fair enough. I agree.
Yeah, I think he's got to have some kind of look to him.
Some menace.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, this one starts off with summarizing the events of part 1, the ending of part 1. We get it reshot with all new actors.
Yeah, much fancier than it was in real life.
Yeah, for sure. How does that wrap up again, John?
So the end of part 1, which I recently rewatched and kind of realized it's like a glorified kind of Goosebumps episode.
Yes.
It's not a great film. Ends with the kid character shooting a 4-leaf clover into the mouth of the leprechaun, which causes him to fall into a well.
Like a slingshot?
Yeah, using a slingshot causes him to fall into a well, and that's the end. In the original one, it did not look quite like this, where the well is this cavernous thing that he's falling down for what seems like infinity. But that's the general gist of how number 1 ends and where this movie picks up.
So with that little bit of backstory provided to anybody who may have missed part 1, that's enough to go on and now get into this film. We're introduced to the daughter of Jennifer Aniston's character, correct?
Yes.
She is on her way to a brand new sorority that's being built from the ground up, right? And for whatever reason, they've decided to do it at the site of movie 1, this cabin out kind of on its own.
Yeah, it's
right?
way out in the middle of nowhere.
Now help me out, John. Is this town that Leprechaun took place, is it a big town?
No.
Is there a college? Would there be a college?
I thought they passed Xavier's school for the gifted youngsters when they passed it because it looked like a fucking X-Men school. I was all like, ooh, what is this? And I was like, oh, it's a college.
So the way it starts off, she's out at like a bus stop, and then Ozzy from part 1.
Yes, played by what's his name?
Mark Holton.
Mark Holton, Francis from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. If you're not familiar, he basically shows up, and I felt really bad about this scene because he's being real nice, and he's all like, "Hey, are you so and so? Here to go to this college? Word gets around the small town." And she's immediately, and I guess I'm not a woman, so I'm not going to speak for it, but she's immediately like, "I'm good, don't talk to me," kind of really just he's just being nice, and she's being real get the fuck away from me.
I get it, yeah.
Yes and no, but I don't think it's necessarily because she's a girl. I think it's more of I'm from the city, and now there's overall where an older guy is coming up to me and trying to talk. You know what I mean? A little out of the comfort zone.
And she thought he was going to hit on her because he was like, "Oh, please don't come over here. Please don't come over here."
Yeah, and again, maybe that's just something women have to deal with, which is fucked up.
It was also kind of similar with Tucker and Dale, right? When the college kids interacted with Tucker and Dale, they were kind of getting the same kind of
that's true. I just thought Ozzy seemed very he seemed kind of weird and looks, but he seemed very polite. I was just like, wow, she's really rude
I don't
to
think
him.
he did anything wrong. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but was Ozzy in movie 1 more of a simpleton?
Yeah, he would not be driving a car. He is, I guess, learned a lot since movie 1, his growth, his character growth does not make sense with what.
That's what I thought. I was like, I thought he wouldn't be able to do a lot of what he's doing, but whatever. So there is a pretty fun scene where she's trying her best to ignore him, and then she calls the taxi, and Ozzy picks up the phone. He's like, "Ozzy's taxi service," and she's like, "Of course."
Yeah.
and she looks over, and she's like, "I need a ride." Yells it at him while the phone's still to her ear, and he's like,
"Okay."
It was a pretty
funny scene. And then comes the most unbelievable part of this whole movie, where he's like, "Oh, are you Tracy's daughter or whatever?" And she's like, oh yeah, do I look like her? And I'm like, no, not at all. You don't look like Jennifer Aniston even a little bit.
Right. But that he's like, because he was involved in the movie
Right.
part one. So what has happened to Jennifer Aniston's character?
She died of cancer.
Okay.
She died of cancer, yes.
For movie one, she raises a daughter. She's talked about this leprechaun
She's like
incident
Sarah
throughout her
Connoring
life,
this
right?
whole thing.
Yeah,
essentially.
people think she's crazy. She's had like facility help and stuff like that, but everyone just thinks that she lost her mind and has never been quite right since.
But don't you think that if Lila knew her mother's story about this, that the fact that she was going to this house, she would have known what happened at this address or this particular town or anything?
Yeah,
They really gloss over that and don't fill in that gap.
they kind of address it where Ozzy's like, oh, your mom didn't tell you anything? She's like, no, she was just crazy. And then they
Except
just sort
later on, she knows, like, she was always telling me these stories about these monsters, and it's true, and you're a leprechaun, and you're this, and it's like, so you got a lot of details about part of it, but not the location
Yeah.
and or...
I just feel like it would have been back in Summersville or whatever the hell this name is town. Mom would have said I was fucked with by a leprechaun, and a lot of people died.
This town's name is something like Evilwood or fucking... It's like the most ridiculous, generic, evilly horror name town. It's so stupid.
Yeah. And ultimately, I don't need to be hung up on this as much as I am, but it was just kind of like a nagging, like, wait, why wouldn't her mom would have told her? Because she's literally going to the same house.
Shocking.
You know?
This plot is about as shallow as a kiddie pool. It is all surface level.
Well, that's the thing is do you think she was going to the college before the mom died? Do you think this was the plan before the mom passed away?
I don't have any
Because
thoughts.
I find it hard to believe that the mom was all like, oh, you're going to college in Evilwood? And she'd be like, guess where you're not fucking going.
Well, I think the mom might have already been dead.
But do you think she would? Yeah, but again, it just seems so weird that she'd leave out like some of the most important details of this thing.
I will concede that it is very weird. I think the screenwriter was just like do and moving on with his life.
It's like, I got a sci-fi project that I need to wrap up and get moving on to Sharknado 8.
Yes, exactly.
There's people who pass through small towns on their way to like on a road trip, and they're like, never go through Bucksville, like, oh man, it's crazy. It's like, if that's less than like being attacked by a leprechaun.
Yeah, I feel like Ozzy should have had a little more of the scurvy Joe. You're doomed. Get out of here. This town is ruinous.
Oh, he couldn't wait to get out. I like where he's got 4-leaf clovers all over his truck, and she's like, "Oh, do you like?
Are you Irish?" She's like,
Yeah.
"Are you Irish?" He goes, "Oh God, no!" Like really, like no. And I was like, "Whoa, calm down there, buddy."
Oh, you love Irish culture? He's like, "Not at all."
Yeah, and Ozzy is very mum on the events. Like, he knows where he's dropping her off. He knows where she's going, and he's just like, I'm just not going to mention it because it's probably nothing's going to happen.
Yeah,
right?
he's like, it's been 25 years, haven't heard shit. Like, if I tell her, she already thinks I'm weird. If I'm like, oh, BT Dubs, the leprechaun's there and he's going to kill you.
But based on his truck, it affected him so badly that he's still trying to protect himself from something 25 years ago.
True.
Protect himself.
But also, he's kind of a dick because when he drops her off, he's like, check out the basement. Shh. Drives off into the fucking sunset.
Yeah, that was weird. And she looks at him like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, that is a right answer.
Yeah, he was just dropping that little nugget of plot.
So Ozzy gets her to there, and oh God. So this sorority house that's being built is arguably being built like what maybe like 7 to 10 miles away from the campus.
Yeah, which they also address. This movie's really good about just hanging the lampshade on the elephant or whatever it's called, where they're like, I didn't realize it was this far from campus. And Ozzy's like, it's far from everything. And then they just move on. But it's like,
and then the girls, like later on when she meets the girls, are like, we don't have cell reception, we don't have internet, we don't have this, and it's like, we only have phone when the power's on, and it's like, we have to work on getting that. And it's like, oh, you covered everything, haven't you?
And they're being, like it says, eco-friendly and green. They're putting up solar panels and all kinds of stuff.
Solar panels.
Solar panels. Yeah, one of the things I felt was unbelievable is like, we got to get our cell phones online, and that's only going to happen if we get the solar panels active. I was like, I don't know about you guys, but there's cell towers for my phone service.
Maybe they needed like in really rural areas, they have to have like a booster to get cell service. So maybe they only have cell service when that booster works. But I think
I'm only going to allow that just barely.
I think you're focusing on the wrong part of this movie.
I mean,
Mark.
they did a way better job of this where they had cell phones in the first one, and she calls and they were like, yeah, all right, well, leprechauns, got it. All right, crazy lady. And Ozzy's like, send in the fucking army. Like, yeah, just make the people not believe you. Like, okay, yep, leprechauns, got it. And, then it's a moot point.
Yeah, it really is that easy.
I have one question for you, though.
Only one?
So, well, I got for right now. So, why is that girl wearing high-waisted jeans? No, I'm just kidding. Those, I'm not a big fan. But anyway, no. So, Ozzy pulls up to this house. He's sweating balls at this point. He's like, I got to get the fuck out of here. How did he drop his cell phone? Because he has to go back to the location to get the cell phone. And it's just like, because he doesn't get out of the car at any point, does he?
He stops at some point to look at the well.
Yeah, but I thought he was in the car. Because he has to go back, and that's when he goes and looks in the well and hears the noise.
Oh.
But no, so he pulls up, and he's all like, stay away from the well. Which my first thing was, if the leprechaun fell down the well in the first movie, why would you not fill that up with rocks? Like, why is that thing not covered? Like,
they need water.
That well is done. No, there's a dead leprechaun in there. You're done. Dig a new fucking well.
Also a good point. Good, yes. Don't know the answer to that because nobody thought it through.
It just bothered me that it was like, if there was ever a monster attacking me and it got trapped someplace, I would do everything in my power to be like, and we're sealing this up.
Yeah.
Like a haunted house, burn it down. If it's a haunted well, fill it up. If it's a abandoned haunted cave, guess what? Board it up.
I don't think it would have mattered if it was filled up though, because the leprechaun comes up as like in a flash of slimy goo light bullshit.
So basically he drops the girl off, Lila. Then Lila meets all her sorority sisters.
Yeah.
Okay. One of them is a super on Adderall, like neurotic nerd.
She's the leader.
Yes. There's a drunk.
Yep.
Young Tara Reid is what she reminded me of.
Meredith was the drunk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rose was the leader, right?
Rose was the head of the clan, the sorority, and then we've got Katie, who was the
in love with the guy.
My boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, but we keep fucking.
Yeah.
That whole bullshit.
Yeah, the one with the braids. Yeah. She definitely was like, she was my favorite character. But so she gets introduced and then like they're kind of like, oh, we'll work on stuff tomorrow. Then Ozzy's driving away and he's like, oh, my cell phone, where did I leave it? Oh, no, it's on the ground back at the house, which he goes back for. Again, I don't know how it thought of its car, but he goes back to the sorority house, gets out, hears laughter coming from the well, like leprechaun laughter. And at this point, he's like, oh, shit, here we go again.
Can you reproduce the laughter for us?
No.
Was a
Thanks,
leprechaun
Mark.
in here?
Oh, it's me, John. I'm here.
I have so many questions. How did Ozzy drop his cell phone?
No comment. No comment.
So he walks over to the well and he looks down at it, hearing the laughter, and then it like fucking comes green water all over his face. Like the well shoots up in an explosion of like green liquid.
Yeah, and I was confused on this part. And did Ozzy have a piece of gold in his stomach?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he ate it in the first one.
Is that why the leprechaun was able to come back?
Yeah, the whole plot of the first one is the leprechaun wants a piece of gold that Ozzy ate and apparently never got removed from him in 25 years.
So he never passed the gold?
No.
Sitting heavy in that gut.
25 years.
That piece of gold would have killed him. He would have had to get it removed.
He would have had AU poisoning.
Yeah, infections. Like, you can't just have a giant chunk of gold sitting in your gut for 25 years. It's going to cause some serious medical problems. I'm not a doctor, but I just know this because I'm a human.
Don't eat the precious metals is what we're trying to say.
4 out of 5 Johns agree.
Yeah, and the 5th John's a moron.
So Ozzy goes over to the well, looks down, gets like splashed like crazy, like he's riding like a Wet and Wild like Six Flags ride with green water. He gets some of it in his mouth. He freaks out, runs off, gets in his car, is driving away. He's starting to like retch, like he's getting sick. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, and he's like, oh no. Pulls his truck over, gets out, unbuttons his shirt, and the leprechaun's growing inside of him.
Yeah, he just xenomorphs himself out and then half busts out through Ozzy's stomach and then just starts talking to him, which I love.
Well, when we say half busts out, like his head, his arms, and his feet are sticking out of the inside of this guy, and the rest of him still inside the dude's stomach area.
Yes.
He says something like, Papa? Like he's being birthed.
Yeah.
That was his first line in the movie.
And then he goes, after 25 years... You're looking worse for wear. You're not really taking care of yourself. I was like, what a dick.
Yeah. And now I will say I was very surprised by the level of gore in this movie for a sci-fi television movie.
Holy crap, it is gory.
Yeah, it's super done really, really well. Leprechaun just bursts out of Ozzy, clothes, hat, the whole 9 yards, managed to regrow, which makes me think that this whole getup is part of him. I don't think it's really clothes. Maybe these are
clothes,
extra,
like clown.
Yeah.
It's like demon skin.
Exactly, because why else would he regrow a hat? But he regrew.
Did you notice his entire skin was all bloody, but the outfit he was wearing was completely free of blood? We're not getting this dry cleaned a second time.
And I will give a Leprechaun hats off to Lyndon Porco. When they originally announced this, it was like, oh, Warwick Davis is not coming back. That's a bad idea. I was like, I think I need him to be interested in this film. It turns out I was wrong. This guy just knocks it out of the park as far as I'm concerned.
I agree. Really did not miss Warwick in the sense of this would be so much better. With Origins, for example, where you really notice they fucked that leprechaun up, man. But here it was like, oh yeah, all right, this is continuing in the tradition.
I'm going to bring this up because this kind of goes back to my Jason remake. What's the guy's name? The guy who played Leprechaun?
Warwick Davis.
No.
Oh.
This new one. Lyndon
Porco.
Lyndon Porco. This dude's run and walk was amazing. When he was running after people and when he was walking after people, it was menacing. I really enjoyed the way that he handled the movement of the leprechaun.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was a choice or if that's just natural what he went with, but holy crap, when he started walking it was just so good. I was like, oh, that is awesome. So anyway, I made a big note about that later on my notes because I was like, I got to give this dude props because man, when he was moving, I was like, I'm in for whatever you're doing. I can forget about the rhyming. Go for it.
All right, how about this? Kane Hodder is the leprechaun.
That's a big ass leprechaun.
All right. So at this point, we're being introduced to all the girls of this sorority, right? We find out that Meredith's a drunk. They're all there to set up and get the power stations up and running and the solar panels going. She's just there to party. She's brought 2 fellas with her, Andy and Matt. They're like, Meredith, what the fuck you doing? We got work to do. And she's like, yep. And it's like, God damn.
I'm working that bottle.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess that ends night 1, right? We're just kind of introduced to our characters.
Yeah.
Ozzy's gets taken out, and I guess nobody notices. It's the well outside. You know what I mean? Nobody notices blood. Nothing.
Well, it's not blood. It's just the green water came out. I think it evaporated.
He busts out of his body.
Ozzy's body. Something has to happen.
Yeah,
to that.
he's not on the house property though. He's out
He
in
drove
the woods.
away. That's true.
Oh,
You
you're
do
right.
come
Okay.
across his truck later.
Yeah, because
Right.
later on,
Down
the
the road or
mailman
whatever.
passes it.
Good call.
But,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, no worries. But they
You forgot because everything looks the same.
It's all
They do make
cool.
a comment that night though. The girl's like, God, we're going to be labeled the nerdiest sorority on campus. And I was like, you're not on campus. You're nowhere near campus. You're miles away from campus.
To flip it, you're the coolest sorority 25 miles away from campus.
Good point. And I guess we should mention that all the girls here know each other except for Lila. She's like a new entry into the sorority.
Pledge, I believe they call them.
The pledge.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, John, for your college knowledge. It's going to help out a lot.
College knowledge. It's what I'm full of.
Stop rhyming, you fucking leprechaun.
Oh, college knowledge. What else you got for us, John?
Oh, yeah. And then it's really like a nighttime, just get to know everybody's scene. Not a whole lot happens.
Yeah, they sit around, drink a little bit. Hey,
Yeah.
here's what my story is. Here's my story is. This is what I do. There's a guy who's into camera again.
Of course.
Another one of these
That's
I'm
Matt.
into filming.
Yeah, he
Matt.
wants to be a filmmaker. Oh, that guy has a few lines in this movie where you're clearly the screenwriter and the director are like, ooh, this is meta. This is what we're talking about.
I think the most important thing to know is all of these people look 30. They've graduated college.
I think 30 is a stretch. I'd say
Mid-2000s.
25.
I think the girls look definitely of age. The guys also, yeah.
They looked old to me. I was like, maybe because I'm getting old. I'm like, you look more closer to my age than their age, dude.
And the other male character, Andy, his only arc is to be horny and want to fuck his ex-girlfriend. I think that's his whole shtick.
Okay, let me say something here.
And
though.
not know how to use a ratchet. That's important.
That guy was garbage, but she was smoking hot. I mean, I get why he'd be like,
All right.
I want to go back to it. She's beautiful.
I'm not going to disagree.
I'm just saying, let's give the guy a little credit. He's got good taste.
There you have it.
And that's
She has terrible taste, but
Yes.
he's got good taste.
But in terms of character development, for him, there is none.
Oh, no, there's nothing.
There's very minor character development for any of these people.
He is horny male A.
Yeah. And I do need to mention they talk about something called clover juice. And I was like, what the fuck is clover juice? And I've never heard anybody make a drink and said, there's instead of a kale cleanse, we're using clovers now. And I'm like, bullshit.
You can ferment any plant, as Meredith
I
lets
was
us
like,
know.
nobody's making clover juice. You just have some reason you need this.
Yes.
Which he does come into play at the end.
Yes, I would desperately, not enough to actually ever look or taste it, but I would wonder what clovers taste like. I'm guessing
Grass.
ass. Yeah.
Ass and grass.
Yeah. Oh, nobody rides for free.
All right, so what are we doing now in this movie?
What are we doing now? Losing our damn
The
minds.
next thing I remember is the basement's flooded. That's
the next morning. Lila wakes up and she's all like, huh. And she goes to the basement door because she remembers what. Oh, no. She wakes up because she sees Ozzy's dead body standing over her. And she like wakes up in a panic.
Oh, right. She goes haunted by Ozzy.
Yeah, Ozzy with his stomach ripped open
Yeah.
and like entrails just hanging out is standing over the foot of her bed.
Haunted's a strong word, though. He's more like Ozzy the Friendly Ghost. Like, does Casper haunt you?
No, you're right. You're right. I'll give you that. But I thought for the longest time until the real interactions with Ozzy, I was like, is the leprechaun using the dead Ozzy to fuck with her?
I thought so too.
But then it just turns out, no, he's just a ghost.
Yeah, he's like a force ghost.
Like, why does Ozzy have that power?
Because he had gold inside of him for 25 years. So maybe he absorbed some very vague, like a shadow of the leprechaun's power. You know what, Hollywood? You should write me or hire me to justify all your bullshit script decisions. I will come
For
in.
Leprechaun films?
I will swoop in any film.
I got it. You're going to have a business card that says John Headcanoneer.
That's
I'm
it.
here to fix your bullshit.
You got plot holes, I'll fill them.
I have a legit question though, because this came up a couple times in the movie and I just couldn't get it out of my head. So he says, I need me gold. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say like he does because it's dumb as hell sounding every time he says it.
I need me gold.
Bingo. Okay. Where are you, Leprechaun?
Oh, you'll never find me. I'm in Garrett's dick.
I wrap my shit up, bro. I'm not getting no space leprechauns in my dick. Okay. So he says, I need me gold. What makes gold, specifically a leprechaun's gold? Like, how does he get gold? Because in the first one, doesn't he just steal gold?
No, he has gold that got stolen from him. Leprechauns just have gold. It's magical gold that is part of their power set.
So they like alchemists?
I guess the plot of the first one is someone goes to Ireland and steals the leprechaun's gold, brings it back to America to this house, and then the leprechaun's like, well, I'm going to have to fucking go to America. He comes to America, kills everyone to get his gold back, gets fucked because he's just obsessed with this particular pot of gold, and it's got to be the exact amount of gold.
This is what I'm saying. What makes a leprechaun's gold a leprechaun's gold? Like, does he have to create it himself? Does he have to forge it and smelt it himself?
800 years ago in Ireland, Garrett, there was a pot of gold that was divvied out to all the leprechaun clan.
When a leprechaun's born, do they basically give it to it? And how is a leprechaun born?
I don't even want to know.
Leprechaun parents, or do they like birth
get
from
peed
whatever?
out of people's dicks.
You're asking things that would require us to go through all the Celtic scrolls.
But
Yeah.
I guess what I'm wondering though is like, how does a leprechaun get his specific pot of gold? What makes it his pot of gold? Why can't he just replace that gold with other gold? Why does it have to be his gold specifically? Also, his gold had little like embedded leprechaun faces on it. Who created leprechaun gold specifically?
He does. We do see in 4 in his leprechaun cave, he has a smelt and a whole bunch of shit there.
Well, then by that rationale, he should just be able to make his own more gold. So why is he worried about the ones that are gone?
Because leprechauns are by nature's hoarders. So it's like a dragon. You know how Smog, when he was sleeping on all of his fucking...
Don't you dare. Don't you dare bring
on
Smog
all
down to
of
leprechaun
his
level.
Gold, right? It's the same shit. He has gold lust, gold fever.
Because he loves gold.
He can't take the idea that someone else has some of his gold.
Yeah, look, I don't think we have the answers that you want because your questions go beyond this movie's
Right.
and the franchise. Like,
I refer you to Irish folklore for your answers. Oh, maybe Wikipedia leprechaun. I don't know. I don't have a deep knowledge of non-film based leprechauns.
All right, you guys keep talking about this movie. I'm going to look this up.
All right, we're gonna get to the bottom of leprechaun folklore right here today, guys. Hang in
listen, Garrett, don't worry about me gold. This whole situation is getting a little old.
there. Oh,
I'll punch you. I swear to God, I will punch you.
oh, that's mighty bold of you.
Yeah, you're getting mighty bold. Look, I can just sit here and do voices all day instead of talk about this.
Send help.
All right, so
Basement's flooded.
and she's just like fucking on it. She's like, all right, well, I've dealt with this before, and drains the basement, fits everything up, and before everyone even wakes up, because then the head sister comes down and is like, boy, you really saved us like a whole day worth of work. And she's like, I know, I'm awesome. And then they see Meredith's juice cleanses on the wall there, and they're like, oh yeah, Meredith is really into juicing, and she's like, she must be really healthy. And the head sister's like, they're all infused with vodka. And then they go upstairs.
Right. And then we see the leprechaun says he loves the smell of his gold in the morning or something like that. I'm like, what? Okay, fine. And then everybody's just out fucking around outside. One guy's playing with a drone because we have to introduce the drone before we do the drone kill.
Yeah, Chekhov's drone.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole next scenes are all Chekhov scenes, right? So we go. Oh, we don't talk about that night. Not Rose, the other one, the braid one. Not Meredith.
I don't know
not
who's
Rose.
got the braid.
Katie does end up sleeping with her boyfriend, and then they're up now trying to hang a solar panel, and she's like, "Oh, you're doing it wrong, dude. Your solar panel's just gonna fall off." And he's like, "I knew we shouldn't have had sex. Now look at you telling me how to install solar panels." And then she's just like, "Dude, calm down. I've just done this before." And he's like, "I'm gonna do it my way."
Yeah, and she's like, "I made a mistake." It's like, you knew you did before you did it, but you did it anyway, and we're doing that whole thing.
To your point, there's the drone thing. Lila and Matt are pushing some drum somewhere.
Well, so they go into the barn. So Lila goes into the barn and she's in there looking around for stuff to like help make a water tank or whatever, and she hears like a doom 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 doom, and then Matt, of course, doing the horror movie thing, is like, "Oh hey, I came here to see if you could help," and like jump scares her, and she's like, "Was that you banging on this?" And he's like, "No." So
he goes, "I don't even know what a cistern is."
Yeah, I don't even know what a cistern is.
Like, dude, and you're in college right now? Because that's embarrassing.
Then we cut to the leprechaun kind of creeping off in the shadows in the back of this barn, and then he makes a pitchfork levitate, and he's going to shoot it at one of the people. But we get Pitchfork Cam, which I really didn't like.
I liked Pitchfork Cam.
I didn't care for Pitchfork Cam.
And he realizes that he's weak and he needs to power himself up. He says something to the effect of, "Oh, it looks like I've lost me knack, but time and killing will help bring it back."
Yeah, he does say that.
Okay, well, actually, I got some information for you guys.
Okay, you give us a download on the folklore, and then I'll catch you up on Leprechaun power loss.
Okay, well, I'm going to talk about the pot of gold.
Yes, do tell us.
So, according to CelticWeddingRings.com,
Oh, I mean, yes, legit sources.
The officialist of all websites.
the first thing I could find, the pot of gold. This is the most common of all leprechaun myths, which says that they find gold coins buried in the earth and store them all in a pot, which is hidden at the end of a rainbow. The fact that a rainbow doesn't even have a fixed spot or a real end should be discounted for the sake of the story. Quite why leprechauns even need gold is another matter entirely, since they can't actually spend it. Researchers suggest that this gold is used as a means of tricking humans and giving the leprechauns propensity for trickery. This is entirely possible. So the gold's just the gold, according to this.
So I got two things out of that. One,
I got two things out of that.
should be dispensed of for the sake of the story. May as well be the fucking tagline for 90% of the movies we watch. And I already forgot what the second thing was, so I guess it wasn't important.
Well, they can't spend it, and it's birthed from the earth, and they dig it up.
Yeah.
And then they need it to trick people. So that we'll just say he needs his gold because it's part of his tool set.
His propensity
to
for trickery.
fuck with people.
Yeah.
So yeah, he realizes he's gonna have to do some more killing to kind of warm up his powers, I guess.
Yeah.
And get some of that gold back before he can start levitating and shooting pitchforks across the room.
Which like Force Lightning, my man can just pitchfork like crazy.
Lila reveals that she's seeing Ozzy to Matt, the filmmaker,
Yeah.
and then we cut over to the mailman coming up upon Ozzy's dead body.
Poor mailman.
Now, this kill, the leprechaun is completely inside a mailbox,
Yes.
which is too small for the leprechaun to be in.
Well, the leprechaun
He can change his size and
can
shape.
definitely change. We've seen him get
Even
bigger.
when he's that weak on the power, he can't even levitate a pitchfork.
Maybe that's like if you think about Leprechaun University, maybe transforming your size, that's like level 1 powers,
Okay,
right?
that's first step.
That's
first
step
day.
1. Telekinesis might be like level 5 stuff. You got to put some skill points into telekinesis, you know.
Because he only has one piece of gold right now, right?
Yes.
Just the one from Ozzy's belly.
Very weak in the gold front.
Okay, what did you think of the mailman kill?
I thought it was the weakest of the films.
Explain it.
He goes to deliver the mail. He puts his hand in there and he gets like bit.
Yeah, he drops a piece of mail in there.
Yeah, he pulls his hand out and he's like, "Oh, that's weird." And then does something that no real human being would ever do. He's like, "I should look face first into this mailbox," and shoves his head really close to the mailbox. Like, even if it wasn't a leprechaun, something just fucking bit you. Why are you going to put your face right in front of the hole?
Because he fears no man. He is a male person.
That's it. Neither rain nor sleet nor darkness of night.
Wait, the leprechaun makes some rhyme with that shit.
Yeah, I think that comes later, but
Yeah.
yes. And then the leprechaun grabs his head, yanks him into the mailbox. So now the
And
mailbox.
when we say yanks him in, his whole head has been yanked inside the mailbox, and it looks like he's like kicking and flailing his back end
Yeah.
out.
So then he gets the mailbox out of the ground. So now he's got a mailbox on his head. Now I have a question for y'all. Is the mailbox magical? Because how is his fucking head fitting in a mailbox?
Oh, it's been squished in there. It's been squished in there.
He should.
So tied around his cabeza, the other part, the other C word,
Yes.
the cabeza.
So he should be dead already. His
You would
skull's
think.
compressed. But instead, he runs around flailing because he can't get this
I
mailbox
think he's
off.
alive. He's probably in the throes of dying, but I mean, you could probably live with a
He's
crushed
in the
skull.
midst of death, and he runs into his mail truck, falls down, and then I don't remember what happens.
Okay, so the leprechaun actually, after he gets his head stuck in the mailbox, jumps down on the ground, which where did he come from? Goes up into the mail truck, backs up into the
Oh,
guy,
yes.
knocks him over onto the ground, and so Mailman Pete is laying there with a mailbox on his head, and he's like wiggling around, and then the I almost said the troll, the leprechaun backs up over the guy's head and
Yes.
squishes the mailbox, and like you see brains and blood, everything squirt out of it like a fruit gusher.
Whatever. Then
Yeah.
he dances a little jig, and that's the end of the scene.
He does dance the little jig.
Yeah.
And then he looks down and he goes, what is this? And he's got blood on his,
yeah.
he's got brain on his foot, and he immediately goes like OCD to wipe it off, which I guess is the shoe thing. Okay, I didn't realize
Can't
that.
handle dirty shoes.
Can't handle dirty. You think he gets all pissed off like when people step on his like new Nike kicks?
Oh, definitely. It's
like someone's getting shot.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
He's bursting out of somebody's gut if they fuck up his shoes.
So we cut to nighttime. All the kids are back around in the couch area of this house,
Yeah.
and they're all chilling out. And I think that's when they all start to wind down for the night. And then the leprechaun reveals himself to Lila finally.
And she sees her like panda bear's giant stuffed panda bear like tucked into the bed, and she's like, that's weird. She walks over, sees something on the ground, lifts up the edge of the covers, pulls out the body of the panda bear, so the panda bear's stuffed animal has been decapitated.
Yeah.
Then she looks up, and then it's the leprechaun wearing the stuffed panda head and pulls it off, and she's like, oh my god.
Oh my God!
Dun, dun, dun.
Doesn't he make some really gross rhyme about oodles of boobies or something? Or
He says
Yeah.
like,
Fruity and full-bodied, with hints of your mother.
Here's the thing my mom always said was real.
And I was like, if this is your fucking come on line, bro, it's never gonna work.
yeah, it doesn't even rhyme.
Like
I don't think he intends to date her, if that's what you're implying.
But yes, and so she's like, "Oh my God, leprechaun! The leprechaun's real. I thought my mom was crazy, or everyone thought my mom was crazy." But then she acts like she didn't really believe it either.
No, she didn't believe it. She thought he was crazy too. Because earlier they're like, you should talk less about your mom. Because every opportunity she's like, yeah, my mom was crazy and I had a crazy mom and she was crazy. And finally her friends were like, dude, dial it down. Like,
Yeah, we're good. You can stop.
We get it. Your mom was crazy. But yeah, so then she escapes the leprechaun and like runs out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
all
is
the power goes out, and then they're
Yeah.
like, we got to fix the fuse. And they start yelling at Andy.
They're like, what fuse did you get? And he's like, the one that you told me to get. And they're like, I'm still going to blame you, Andy, because this is a movie. That's what I'm going to do.
Lila's running to people like, we gotta go, we gotta get here. The monsters are real, and everyone's like, oh, you crazy chick, it is genetic, you know. Like, and then she's like, no, trust me. And then people were slowly starting to see the leprechaun and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and they're starting to believe. So it's like panic ensues at this point.
And then they reference one of my favorite memes of all time where Rose comes up, or Lila's like, I saw it. And Rose is like, it could just be a crackhead who got into the wrong stuff.
Yes.
I laughed so hard at that.
I pulled that video up multiple times as I was watching this. Like, who here see the leprechaun? Say yeah. I was like, yeah. I was like, I love this.
It's so great. Could just be a crackhead who got into the wrong stuff.
He's also doing a lot more of that sexual innuendo that I guess out of the 4 movies that I've seen, way more than the rest of them.
He gets hornier as he goes on, but yeah, there's a
Gets hornier as he
And for
goes
me,
on.
that stuff just doesn't work. I didn't like it.
I didn't like it
didn't think
either.
it added anything to his character. Like he said, like other than the fruity and full body stuff, he's like,
A golden shower. I don't care what the others say about you. You're a keeper.
yeah.
But Freddy's just as perverted. You don't have a problem with Freddy.
he never talked about pissing on people.
No, and
that
Freddy's,
you heard.
Well,
Freddy's character that's his thing, right? He's a pedophile. The leprechaun wasn't normally like, jigging about people's boobs and head and
Jigging about people's boobs.
Whenever he gets his head knocked off by one of the characters, he goes, "Oh, you give great head."
Yeah.
And puts his head back on. I'm just like,
Yeah,
oh my
because
God.
Lila like hits him with like some kind of like item, and it like almost cuts his head off, and it like kind of opens up like a can lid.
Yeah.
and then he puts it back down, and he goes, "You give great head," and I was like, "Whoa, okay."
So eventually they all see the leprechaun. They're like, okay, there's a leprechaun going on here. So they get together and the leprechaun just comes out. Right?
They're outside.
They're
Yeah.
outside.
There is a pretty good scene where everybody's like, "Lila, you dumb bitch, there's no leprechauns." And then Meredith runs out and is like, "There's a small Irish man in there." And they're like, "Oh, okay, I guess you're telling the truth."
This is the part that I was going to basically say, "Who here see the leprechaun?" Say, "Yeah." Like I was going to bring
Yeah.
that meme up right then when we actually first introduced everybody, but you beat me to it.
I fucking loved it. I couldn't wait. I just was like, I paused it. I was like, did they just reference that? I was like, all right. Then I was on board at that point. I was
Sorry,
like,
we can get back in. I just thought it was funny. I was
You
like,
go.
I was saving it to do a really cool like edit in reveal, and then like you're like, "This is my favorite part," and I was like, "Oh, cool. Let's just talk about it."
So Andy and the leprechaun are kind of squaring off outside, and he's like, "Oh, what's up, little guy?"
Andy and the lip.
But yeah, I forget exactly what they're talking about. Is this where he picks him up over his head?
he's like, dude, Andy's basically like, I'm just going to go over there and kick this little guy's ass. Right. And the leprechaun's like, bring it, dude. He goes over there, he gets picked up and just flung.
Like we say like the 2.5 foot, 3 foot leprechaun picks up a grown man over his head like a WWE like wrestler, and then flings him across the yard into the side of the house.
Yeah, he's about to like, what is it, power bomb him?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty close.
So then he gets up and he's like, all right, I got it. He picks up the cistern, throws the cistern at the leprechaun, who then just jumps on it and starts spinning it like
Like the loggers would do on the water with the log rolling.
yeah.
He's running on a log.
And so Andy's just standing there like, this is some crazy shit. And the leprechaun, does a little hand thing. And the solar panel slides off of its base and just cuts him right down the middle, like
Now,
top down.
If Andy had secured that better earlier,
True.
he might have lived.
Like the lady told him.
Now, are solar panels, solar panels,
soul panels.
are solar panels that sharp?
No, they're obviously flat edged. What really should have happened is it should have crushed him.
Crumpled him to the ground, right?
It probably would have hit him and then fallen flat, and I mean he would have died of like a concussion. He definitely would have gotten bladed in half.
Those are heavy. It would have broken his skull open,
Yeah.
but like it wouldn't have sliced him like a loaf of bread.
Yeah, this is like some Art the Clown getting cut in half business.
Yes.
Like you said, this movie's so gory and the effects are really
Then he
good.
falls apart
Yeah, it's so great.
like an
So-
open-faced club sandwich.
Sci-fi would have never shown this movie in 1995.
Oh
No.
God, no!
So he just stands there for a while, and you're like, "Whoa, what the hell?" And like Garrett said, he just peels off of it on either side, and you see all of his guts and brains and shit. And then everybody panics.
Everybody scatters.
Yeah,
Lila runs off with Meredith, the drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Rose is like, "Where's Rose?" She went inside and hid in a closet, which was like wide open. That closet was huge too. I've had apartments that are smaller
yeah,
than that
it's
closet.
a whole nother room.
And then
Her room's got rooms.
and Andy's dead, and then Matt is running around with Meredith and Lila. Rose, being the genius that she is in this closet hiding, but she immediately goes and opens the door
Yeah.
of the closet to look out, and it's like, well, the little like slats were open, you could have seen through.
She definitely never won hide and seek as a child. Rose hid for like 75 seconds. It was like, all right, I'm probably good now.
And then the leprechaun's hat rolls up on the ground, like someone like threw it, and it kind of rolls up
Yeah.
on the ground. And then she looks at it, and she's like, "What the hell?" The hat's facing like upwards. The hole is, and then the leprechaun jumps out of the hat.
Really good
That
scene.
was awesome.
Yeah.
Like that was really well done, and it made me jump. I'm not gonna lie, it made me
Yeah.
jump. I was like, "Holy shit!" She hits him in the head with a shoe, like a heel.
Yeah.
And it goes into his head, and it starts squirting green blood, which the green blood squirts were awesome in this. They look so good.
Yeah.
And that's when like, doesn't she knock? Did she die there or no?
No, she escapes because he sees all the shoes.
Okay, yeah,
And then
because she knocks over the shoes when she falls back in
Yeah.
the closet, and then he starts having to. I did not know this was a thing. Starts picking up and organizing shoes, and I was like, oh my God, what is going on here?
Yeah, and so she's smart enough to use that opportunity to get the fuck out of there.
And the rest of them are deciding they're going to pile up into a car and drive off.
Well,
Right.
almost.
And Meredith, while on their way to the car, Meredith throws Lila down into the basement and locks the door. And she's like, what are you doing? Let me out. She's like, look, I don't even know you that well,
Yeah.
but it looks like the leprechaun's only here to fuck with you. So good luck. And then she runs out to the car and gets in, and everybody's like, where's Lila? And she's like, she didn't make it.
When they get in the car, that was one of a hilarious scene.
God.
Because they all pile in the car, and then they're starting to drive off, and he's like,
We should get out of here. He's probably really close by now.
Yeah. And they're like, what the fuck?
so funny.
They throw him out the electric car, and the leprechaun's making a lot of like hot takes on econo liberal
yeah, like
culture.
the last 25 years.
Yeah, because they throw him to the ground, and then the electric Prius starts driving off all kind of slow, and he's like, the car of the future.
Yeah.
And he's like, hi, I bet. And then it's like, oh, he's commenting on electric cars being slow.
He has like a running commentary on new technology, because when he meets Meredith for the first time too and he sees a smartphone, he's like,
A Walkman and a camera all in one. Impressive.
What's a Walkman?
Forget it. I'm looking for something, and if you tell me where it is, I won't rip you to shreds.
What are you looking for?
Come a little closer, and I'll tell you.
Meredith actually made a deal with the leprechaun that I'll leave you Lila
yeah.
if you let me live.
Well, if you don't lay a hand on
If you don't
me.
lay a hand on me, and words are tricky. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, boys? But anyway, so we cut back to Lila, who's down in the basement, and she is looking for the gold because she runs into Ozzy's dead ghost corpse again.
Yeah, this is so her and Zombie Ozzy make this is where they finally get to talk, but Ozzy can't talk. He can only shake his head yes or no.
So he's doing like a charades type, like explaining the plot of the first movie, and then she goes, I don't know what you just said.
that was really funny.
And then she gives him some saran wrap to saran wrap his guts back into his stomach.
Which doesn't quite make sense to me if he's a ghost. I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
but
no,
okay,
it
we'll
doesn't.
move on.
The movie, yeah, they're like, she's like, her first couple questions are like, are you going to hurt me? Are you a ghost? Are you a zombie? It's like, we're really getting to the important stuff here, huh?
He just says no to all of it. It's
Yeah.
like, well, then we don't know what you are, Ozzy. Why are you here? But okay. The writers couldn't figure it out either.
They told him he was going to be on screen for X amount of time.
So she tries to get out of the basement and she throws something at the window and it just bounces off. Then she turns around and finds a hammer and she's like, oh, this would have been better to start with. I was like, all right, this movie is very funny. I laughed with
That's
it.
the thing. Is there's a lot of good humor and writing in parts of it, but
Yeah.
then you get some of that weird, rhymey sexual
Yeah.
shit, and it's like, you don't need that stuff. You already proven that you were smart enough to write some clever jokes in here.
Yeah, I really like Lila. I think most of the humor falls on her and I think she does a really good job.
She does sell a lot of it. But this is where she finds out that he needs his gold.
Yeah.
Because she's looking through the basement for the gold and she's like, it's not here. And that's when Ozzy, without saying anything, is like, oh yeah, I know where it is. Follow me. Runs through the wall and she's like, I can't follow you. And then she gets the hammer and breaks her
Yeah.
way out. And that's when she's following Ozzy's ghost corpse into the woods.
Sure. And we cut back to the car driving around, and then Meredith immediately reveals, oh yeah, by the way, I just tricked Lila, and they all start fighting in the car.
Yeah, they're like, we have to go back and get her. We're sisters. We're sorority sisters. And Meredith is like, dude, we don't even know her. She joined yesterday.
And for some reason, they let Meredith drive.
Oh, she's like, Meredith, watch the road. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm super drunk. And it's like, y'all should have known better.
Right.
Every one
that's
of
on
you.
y'all. That's on y'all.
And it's not like she was drunk right now. From the moment this movie started, she has been intoxicated.
yeah.
Bad move. And even worse, now the leprechaun's floating on the drone coming at you,
So
flying
funny.
around. I guess he's holding the controls and riding on it. I was like,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure the weight limit of that drone is going to be a lot less than one leprechaun.
No, that's exactly how they measure it. And that's a one leprechaun drone.
It's a little more expensive than your half
Drone
leprechaun.
technology is weight in leprechauns.
It's not, the government's got a 10, 15 leprechaun drone, but they let us have one and a half
What was that? What was that
Right,
unit of
consumer
measurement?
grade.
Yeah.
We measure things in Jasons and weight
Yeah.
as leprechauns.
Yeah, Jason's the length, right? We measure length in Jason's, and we measure
That's
weight
4
in
Jasons
leprechauns.
long.
Yeah. So consumer drones can generally hold a lep and a half on average. So he's good.
All right, that qualifies as a
checks out.
drone.
Yeah. So and they are pretty smart. They get into a little bouncing. They slam the car into the leprechaun on the drone. You see in car chases, and they push him into a tree, and the branch just goes right through his head.
Yeah, she pushes him a little bit over, and like a tree branch slides through his eye socket and out the back of his head. So he impales himself, like skewers himself on a tree branch.
Super great scene. And they're like, did we just get away?
Yeah.
And then
They see Ozzy's truck. Yeah, well, so they bounce it. Then they get into an argument and they start talking. And because Meredith is drunk, she doesn't see Ozzy's truck. Bam, smashes, cars crashed. Now we're at the part, where Matt's like, okay, I will go sacrifice myself. Ladies, hit the road.
because they find Ozzy's dead body.
Yes.
And they're like, we can get his keys and we can take his truck and go get help. And they're like, but we'll never get away, because they hear the leprechaun laughing in the distance. And then that's when, you're right, Matt goes, I'll sacrifice myself and like,
And he
help you
literally
guys get
does.
away.
He does nothing to advance anything at all, other than the leprechaun takes control of the drone and then chops his head off with it.
Yeah, in like 3 seconds. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's like, good job, Matt.
Right before that, though, or right after that, the leprechaun does take one of Ozzy's dead body eyes and put it in his eye hole where he lost the eye from the tree branch. So he can take other people's body parts and make them his own.
Yeah, as long as there's a part of a leprechaun, he can regrow. That's like a big
Okay.
part of this here.
Okay.
He is if there's any part of a leprechaun left, it can grow back into a full leprechaun. So Meredith now is like, she's making a beeline. She runs away from the car crash. She's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I made a deal with the leprechaun. Fuck y'all. I'm looking
She
out
also
for
says,
me.
why don't you make your own deal with the leprechaun? And then they're like, fuck you. And
Yeah.
like, she wanders into some sprinklers.
She runs into a field that suddenly has well, I think the leprechaun turns on the sprinklers.
Yes.
And she's getting soaked, right? And she sees the leprechaun and she's like, hey, we made a deal. You can't lay a hand on me. And he's like, I'm not going to lay a hand on you. And then he floats up like a sprinkler head and just shoots it right into her mouth. And then it starts shooting out blood, which I thought was funny.
Yeah,
a little unbelievable, but okay,
Very,
I'll
yeah.
give it to
Yeah,
you.
the sprinkler
assumed
heads
it
are being thrown, like shot at her, and then one ends up like shooting right in her mouth,
Yeah.
and it's like shooting out blood, like it's a sprinkler, but it's blood.
And I just assumed it was leprechaun magic. Very well done. And he's like, told you I wouldn't lay a hand on you. And off he goes to kill some more.
We cut back to Lila and Katie, and Rose, who are running through the forest at this point to get away. And they're like, well, he wants his gold. And so they're like, I know where the gold is. Rose says, I think I know where the gold is. Because down in the basement, Lila finds a map. And she's following the map with the other girls. And they find this old abandoned truck. And she's like, oh, the gold's going to be in there. They pull it out. There's a pot of gold, but there's only maybe like 20 gold pieces in it. So it's like 3/4 empty. And they're like, oh my God, this is it? This is all there was? And that's when Rose goes, oh, okay, confession time, you guys. I found that previously, and to get the money we needed to make this sorority house happen, I've been going to the cash for gold place and giving them these, getting money to buy the solar panels and all the stuff we need for the sorority house. So I've been spending that gold. And they're like, you did what?
They're like, well, I thought about the GoFundMe. And she's like, yeah, we raised like $20 because some guy asked me if I would send him nudes for $20, which I did.
Yeah, she flat out was like, I did it. And I was like, yo, best $20 you ever made,
Yeah.
you know? And then she's like, don't worry, I was planning on basically buying all the gold back as soon as I could afford it, and we'll put it back.
I'll be quite honest. I don't fault her for doing that at all. You found some gold.
Yeah.
You got some money. You fucking did your thing. You had no idea. No, I'm sorry. There was no way she could have known about
Absolutely.
any leprechaun.
Yeah, she
fucking
could have.
bullshit.
The leprechauns
By who?
the coins have
By who?
leprechaun faces
Who
on
cares?
it.
Yeah, who knows?
Who cares?
Oh, no, I
No.
care. If I
If
find
I'm
a pot of
living in
gold in the
No,
forest
I'm
and
sorry,
there's
Garrett.
leprechaun
If you
faces
found
on it,
gold-
I'm not risking it.
Yes, you would, because leprechauns aren't real.
Yeah,
You
I'm
would
calling
totally
That you
turn it
know
into
of.
truth.
Are you trying to
Because
say
it's
Bigfoot's
true.
not real? Loch Ness Monster's not
I'm
real?
calling shenanigans. If you come across hundreds of thousands of dollars in gold, you're gonna be like,
How much do you think gold is worth
A
nowadays?
lot. It's like over $300-400 an ounce.
Turn your unwanted or broken jewelry, gold, silver, platinum, rings, chains, and bracelets into cold hard cash from cashforgold.com.
Gold is way expensive
Okay,
right now.
fine,
It's
fine. Gold's worth something, but you would steal. You're the kind of guy that would find a wallet on the street and basically take the money.
Well, if I own property and I find gold on the property, that's my
I
gold.
don't think she owns the property though.
Somebody does.
Yeah, it's on the well.
I think she's
It's
just
right-
leasing it. I think they're just like leasing it.
If I found a pot of gold, I'm keeping the fucking gold. I mean, I'm not. What am I going to tell you?
I'm
here?
with
Like,
you, dude. If they rented you that space and didn't
Yeah.
tell you about the free money downstairs,
Wait.
that's
You
fucking
guys
on
gave
them.
me shit about eating that part of a donut from the Chopping Mall episode, and you're going to steal gold?
I didn't give you shit for nothing.
You knew-
I'm taking the gold out of the house.
I'm taking the gold and eating the donut on my way out.
No, look, I'm sorry, dude. There's no way way, like I totally understand her reasoning. There's no reason for her to think otherwise.
I do agree with you. Yeah, there was no reason for her to think, but except for the fact that it had a leprechaun face like printed on the side, I would be hesitant.
You know how it really roll out is she would go to this gold place and be like, I don't know if this is real. And they're like, shit, I'm going to give you a ton of money for this. And she'd be like, okay. That's probably how that would have went down.
Doesn't this town know about the leprechaun murder though? Or is that kept hush hush?
They sure don't seem like
Ozzy, I feel like Ozzy would have said something.
I think it's pretty tight. And they're like, oh, that's crazy, Ozzy. So I just looked up. At the time we're recording, gold is $1,500 an ounce. And those coins are big. She found millions of dollars in gold. And you're telling me you would be like, well, that might be supernatural. No, thank you. Someone's like, hey, I know a place where I can get $10 million right now, but it's in gold coins. You're going to be like, sounds like leprechaun gold.
You wouldn't check with the people you bought the land from?
I mean, she's getting it from the university. I don't think she thinks, oh, yeah, the university probably buried this gold here. That doesn't sound like it was something a university would do.
It's also very strange that they didn't clear out the basement before they rented it out. Like, you think, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would assume that, oh, they already know whatever. They don't give a shit about this place.
Yeah, they wouldn't do any kind of survey to see if the water's green coming out of the well.
Let me introduce you to a very strong legal concept known as finders keepers.
Losers weepers.
Yes.
In the case of John P. Weepers.
So, yeah, if my options are be a millionaire or maybe possibly run into a leprechaun, I'm going to take my chances with being a millionaire.
I feel like eminent domain laws or something like that. The cops would be like, oh, that wasn't yours. You have to like pay that money back.
Yeah, I mean, the hardest part would be selling all of those gold. Your Joe's gold cash for gold spot is not going to have enough capital to buy all of that from you.
Unless you're selling them gold, in which he does that point.
You're going to run into some difficulty fencing this gold.
Yeah, that's going to be the hardest part.
So anyway,
well, now that we've talked about gold to money ratios.
So she basically admits that she sold the gold. They're like, what do we do at this point? And at this point, they're like, we should just run away. And that's when one of the girls says, what about the sorority code? And I was like, I want to know everything about this sorority code, because if there's guidelines, I want to know what they are.
Right.
But they decide they have to fight the leprechaun at this point.
Great scene. Well, and it's important. One of the things we kind of glossed over that is just relevant now.
Fool's gold?
Is, yeah, if the leprechaun touches fool's gold, it burns them. And that comes...
Was that from the previous movies?
No, it's the first time I've ever seen that happen.
Because Lila has a gold coin necklace around her neck. What earlier in the movie, the leprechaun goes like, ooh, me gold. Goes to grab it. It burns him. He's like, what the hell? And she's like, I don't know. My mom gave it to me. She said it'd protect me because it's fool's gold, evidently. Yeah. And then they're like, well, how come he didn't take... The girls ask like later on in the movie, like, how come he didn't take yours? And she's like, oh, it burned him because it's not real gold. Because Katie goes, I know fake gold. Andy got me a fake gold bracelet, and that's fake gold. Like, she immediately knows that her shit's like fucking Fugazi.
So they realize that there's some things they can do to stop him, and they come across the idea also that iron is going to stop him as well.
Fake gold is iron.
Yes. Pyrite.
Is what they like.
Iron pyrite.
They deduce out, right? And
they're college kids. They know what's up.
Lila gives this really resounding speech and then marches off, and they're like, where are you going? She's like, you're right, I have no idea. We should have a plan. Yes. And I laughed really hard at that, too.
So the plan is to trick the leprechaun and give him back the gold, because we got a little bit in here, but we need to put something underneath to make it look like this is a full pot of gold. And somehow they come up with 800 tampons.
Yeah.
Where did they get those out there in the woods?
It's a house full of women. I'm assuming they have a good supply of tampons.
Each woman brought 200 tampons.
There's not 800 tampons. There's maybe like 40 in there.
We can freeze frame it, and I can count those later.
The boxes come with quite a few. So
48.
There you go. He knows.
As a married man, I know how many come in a box.
And they have quite a few in there. So.
And as someone who's never seen a vagina, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Like Mark said, they fill it up with these millions of tampons and sprinkle some gold on top of it. And
the coins that are left, they put on top.
And they're like, look, leprechaun, we've got your gold. Here you go.
Look, leprechaun, we got your gold.
I super love this scene, too, where he just sits on the ground. He's like, all right, time to count me money.
Yeah. He's
One,
like, cool.
A two.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like,
three.
He loves the leprechauns. What they do with their gold is count it. All that they want to do is count their gold.
They are like Smog.
Yeah, and when they get to the end of the count, they just want to start over and start at one again and count it again.
Wait, really? Is that like legit?
Yeah.
And he pulls out a tampon, and he's like, what is this? He probably says some joke that I've forgotten.
Yeah, I can't remember, but he does joke about it.
And then he dumps it out, and that's where we get revealed, oh, trickery. And they come in, and they throw the iron chain around him.
Yes.
Now, where did they get that iron chain?
That's her chain. That's her necklace.
Oh, is it just the necklace?
Yeah.
It looked big. like bigger than
Well,
a neck.
on him, it's going to look
'Cause
big because
he's
he's much
small.
smaller than her.
Size.
Scale,
Gotcha.
Perspective, baby.
which basically kills him, and they're like, "Oh shit, we won."
Well, notice
melts.
they put the well, no, not yet, because they
Check
put
house clover juice.
yes,
Oh, yeah.
they put the chain on him, which he's like, it burns. Then they surround him by like weights, like iron weights they use to work out. They use like kettlebells and stuff, and they
Yeah.
put it around to kind of like he's like, let me out of here, you've trapped me, let me out. So they go downstairs with the water pump, which was used earlier in the movie multiple times. They get all the clover juice, which was like clover infused alcohol, and I thought it had to be 4-leaf clover, not just regular clover.
And this particular scene is an homage to Evil Dead Sam Raimi shots because it's like zooming in on the parts as they plug it all
Yes,
in.
it's very much. I was like, this is a weird choice. All of a sudden, I didn't know it
Right.
was Evil Dead thing, but yes, it's definitely. I was like, this is a weird direction to take visually.
Yeah, it's not generic clovers. It's a very important part that it has to be 4-leaf clovers.
So this is a whole gallon vat of only 4-leaf clovers.
which would
Well,
be
they said there's a
miracle.
clover patch right next to the house. Now, I'm assuming maybe they got a 4-leaf clover in there somewhere in the mix, but
the thing about 4-leaf clovers is that they're lucky because they do not produce. You don't find them.
Yeah, they're very
Hardly
rare.
ever. So to have a whole vat, no.
They're so rare that in the first movie they only needed one, and that was all
that's
that
what
destroyed.
I'm saying. I think they may have just by gathering clovers inadvertently picked one up and tainted the mix with it and blessed it, kind of like holy water. You just take a little dab and the whole thing is now suddenly holy.
Now-
But I'm
See-
saying, like, out of a whole patch, you're probably going to find 0 4-leaves. Like, they're that rare.
Maybe.
And I'm wondering, I don't know that works because I think it has to be whole. Like if you took a 4-leaf clover, tore off a leaf, now you got a 3-leaf clover. I don't think it still maintains 4-leaf clover properties. I think it's now just a boring 3-leaf clover.
The science needs to be checked out. But anyway,
Also
they have
diluted in vodka.
They have clover juice, which they basically then put the water pump in, bring a hose all the way upstairs, shove it in the leprechaun's mouth, and then pump that dude full of clover juice, which is not a sexual euphemism.
No, they just
Okay?
really do that.
They just really pump green liquid into him, and he starts swelling up, and he's like, oh, and then just blows the fuck up.
Explodes. And we've won the day. Guys, it's over.
Right.
No more leprechaun. We'll just sweep up his guts and be done.
Well, like 2 of them are like, all right, we got to go do some other shit. Rose, clean this shit up.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
think they
you're on cleaning detail.
poor Rose to just clean up leprechaun guts. So she starts cleaning them up. But like he's mentioned multiple times, if there's any piece of a leprechaun, it can regrow into a full leprechaun.
It's like Wolverine.
Yeah.
And has he ever done this before?
I can't remember. I don't think so.
Well, then I'm going to say this is our second Sam Raimi reference to Evil Dead Army of Darkness when tiny evil ashes are running around and torturing poor Ash.
Yes. So all of his leprechaun bits grow into individual tiny leprechauns, and they fuck around with Rose, and she tries to kill them, but they just sort of overwhelm her, and she gets like
Now, the best part of this whole scene is, right, they're throwing shit at her, and then she just gets hit in the head with a soda can, and I laughed really hard at the soda can.
I laughed really hard because I saw the soda can thing, and then like they're all like doing these little like dances around, like, yeah, we got her.
Yeah. He does a can't touch this reference, and he busts out.
I forgot.
That was
that
terrible.
was the worst. I rewound that and showed it to other people around me. I was like, watch this fucking shit.
Vanessa was so mad. She's like, was that a MC Hammer reference?
He sure was.
Right, the
Like-
back end of a hammer gets gouged into her chest, and he goes, "Ooh, hammer time!" Can't
and he
touch this.
does
And he
the
does
fucking hammer
shuffle.
dance.
Yeah.
I was like, "How could you do this? How could you do? You were a little above that, and now you drop below."
That was, you know what? I must be the target audience because I was like, loved it. Sign me the fuck up for more of this. And so they kill her with the hammer.
And MC
time.
Hammer got paid
That's
that
it.
day. Thank you, Kate Touches.
And then all the little leprechauns merge back into our beloved full-sized leprechaun.
Yes. Now, what happens after that? Because
There is a Looney Tunes gag that occurs with a giant magnet.
Tell us, 'cause
wait,
I don't
I'm
even.
sorry, I don't remember that.
There was a giant horseshoe magnet that gets wrapped around Lila's neck, and it throws her back into like the metal cauldron or whatever's behind her, and she's stuck with the magnet around her neck. I was like, wow, ain't seen that since 1947.
They're bringing it back.
That's all, folks.
Yeah, I forget exactly what he says, but he's like holding the magnet, doing his little chant, and he just throws it, and it just whoosh straight.
Are
across
magnets
the
not
room.
made of iron?
No, they're made out of magnet shit. Magnets, how do they work? I don't know.
Magnesium?
Yeah, go ask ICP.
Yeah, somebody cue the Juggalos.
Somebody cue the juggalos.
Right, and then he's dancing around with after the magnet gag, and then they start electrocuting the floor through his gold.
Yes, that's it. They remember, like, oh yeah, all we have to do to get power back is change the fuse.
So Katie runs outside, and the dead body of Andy's laying there, which she can easily walk around. But instead, she decides to try to jump over the body for no good reason, slips and falls face first into her ex-lover's corpse's guts.
This cracked me up so hard because there's the split open body, and when I say split open body, like imagine like half a body cut in half, and then like you just see the inside, like those exhibits they had at the museums, and then there's a severed piece of like forearm, like maybe 2 feet in front of that like body. She looks at the forearm and is like, I'm gonna jump it. She runs back like 3 feet, goes to jump it, does like an inch high jump, trips over the forearm, lands face first in the open corpse of Andy. And it was, I can't explain to you how terrible the jump was.
So bad.
Like, it was, a toddler would have been like, bro,
and like
what
Mike said, all she had to do was step over it. She didn't need a jump to begin
she
with.
She chose to jump over
Step over, walk around. There was plenty of clearance on either side of the corpse.
A forearm is maybe like 12 inches long. You could have just taken a step.
Regardless, it was funny.
Yes.
I was laughing at that. I was like, that is pretty good.
I was almost in tears laughing at like how stupid that was.
Is this when she starts screaming at him about being broken up?
Yes.
Yes. Yelling at the corpse, but she does manage to change the fuse out. The electricity flows through the gold, electrocuting the leprechaun, setting him on fire, as well as the entire house. So now he's wandering around on fire. And they're all like, we got to escape through the basement. I guess there was an opening through the basement.
That's how she got through. Yeah, it's how Lila got out before the first time.
Right, exactly.
Garrett's method, burn that shit down.
Which works.
Yeah. Ooh, actually, was that a reference?
Almost didn't.
True.
Because as Lila's way out, the leprechaun grabs her by the leg and he's like, where are you going? And she's like, leave me alone, ass Baggins. I was like, all right. That's not quite as clever as you thought it would be, trying to reference Frodo in the Lord of the Rings. But she kicks him in the face. They get out. And then the house explodes and Katie takes shrapnel to the back like a big ass fucking spike. I wonder where that came from. Was that just a piece of the wood?
That was Peace Live Leprechaun. Took Khan to the back. I do, when they were going down the basement, I do like, there's a scene, it's like a short little cut of the leprechaun sliding on fire, sliding down a door, using the door as a sled down the stairs.
Yeah, that was
great. Like, all right, that's a clever little cut.
Did he have any cool run-ins, puns, or anything?
No, he was already on fire. It was just really funny to see this little leprechaun doll on fire on a door down the stairs.
So when the house explodes, they also get green slimed with leprechaun guts and ectoplasm or what have you.
I thought it was the clover juice, but I think you're right. I think it was
I think it's leprechaun.
Yeah.
And then up rolls the university car for whatever reason. And then they're like, what happened?
Chickens in the back or something like that, right?
I don't know. It was like first time we're introduced to anybody from the school. And he's like, what happened here? And he's like, well, you know the thing about footprints, the best footprint is no footprint. So some joke about the house burning down and like we're shearing up our footprint.
Well, there's a whole like ecological message going to this movie of like we've got to do as little damage to the earth as possible. We're gonna go green. So I think that was a reference to that.
It's like, all right, not the time now, dude. We've got shrapnel in the back and a house on fire.
Yeah.
Like
in the very final scene of the movie, we see the leprechaun is whole again, and he's hitchhiking to Bismarck, and that's where she had sold his gold.
Right.
Yes.
And it's another situation where people around the leprechaun are like, yeah, back's open. Like, totally normal. Like, oh, yeah, just a leprechaun.
They pick him up, and he's just, dangling his feet off the end of the truck with some chickens in the back, and that's the end of the film.
God, this movie was not bad, but there's some amazingly terrible things in this movie.
That's what makes it so good. That's what you watch Leprechaun films for.
This movie actually was surprisingly good. There's a couple things, though. Have we ever had a movie where leprechauns, like, it's a period piece where leprechauns, like, go after, like, the gold rush people?
No.
Like, I feel like that's like a Hatfield and McCoy situation ready to happen, like leprechauns versus prospectors. And it's like, give us our gold. And it's like, come and take it, you old bastards. Like, and it's like they got pitchforks or pickaxes.
Might as well. Since the leprechaun don't give a fuck what year it is or any continuity, we might as well.
They did have one where they went back in time and we saw how leprechauns get married. And that was like in the 1600s. So if you sneeze 3 times in a row and no one says God bless you, you become a leprechaun.
What if you say Gesundheit?
They didn't get into that level of detail.
See,
but
that's unfortunate.
I know it's hard to believe a Leprechaun film did not cover every possible base. They're normally just so on the ball with their continuity.
But not today.
Yeah.
Well, I would also recommend this one. Surprisingly enough, I did not expect much out of it, and I was entertained more than I expected to be. Some of the humor landed, some of it fell flat, but it was definitely still in the same vein of the originals. So I think kudos to Sci-Fi for making one of these and getting pretty close to the original.
Agreed.
In Leprechaun Back to the Hood, did he have a hype man? Like when he like say his rhymes, like something something says something something. So I'm like, oh damn, my dude, what's up? Like behind him,
I don't remember. I mean, not like regularly. If he did, it was like one
like
scene.
noise.
Yeah.
Like I want like that kind of dude behind Leprechaun.
That would have been cool too. Yeah, but yeah, to like Mark said, I also was not expecting a whole lot. I was actually expecting it to be very, very bad.
I thought this was going to be so. Like the moment it said Sci-Fi Presents, I was like, oh god, because the last Sci-Fi movie I watched was Pterodactyl Attack, starring Coolio. So I was like, oh god, this is going to be terrible. It was surprisingly good.
Yeah, I agree.
And I appreciate they did the Halloween 2018 where they like negated everything except for the first movie.
I don't know if they negated it, but they continued.
They did the world a favor.
They continued the story of the first one, which we needed. Which
Yeah,
none of
I really think John's correct because there's nothing in those other ones that really attach itself to part one.
Well,
We could
evidently,
literally
according
say
to John,
we're
they're
making
not the
part
same
one.
leprechaun.
they can't. I strongly will argue they cannot be. This leprechaun cannot be in all these
It's
places.
a leper colony.
Oh,
Colony. Oh man, there's something
Yeah,
there. I'll
all right.
workshop
Workshop it,
it.
yeah.
Thanks for coming out tonight. I got a little leprechaun humor for you guys.
Bring us your idea next week. So I'm curious to see where Sci-Fi goes from this. I'm even more hopeful now that they did announce alongside the Critters project that there was going to be a Killer Clowns remake of some
Yeah,
kind.
that's gonna be interesting.
So now I'm like, okay, Sci-Fi, show me what you got. I'm listening. Like before, I would have been like, this is going to be bad, real bad.
Based off the humor of Leprechaun, if it's like the same caliber, I think the Killer Clowns can be pretty funny.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Well, that's all I got on this. Three recommendations all around.
Yep. Keep up the good work.
Okay,
100 episodes, guys.
we did it.
Woohoo!
We knocked it
Yeah.
out. So keep an eye on our social media. We're going to be changing the format just a little bit, and we'll have more information on that for you soon if we haven't already.
We've mentioned it a couple times, but yeah, we'll have a couple changes coming up. We're going to do some, as we mentioned before, a little house cleaning on the website, a little visual overhaul. We're going to finally have the merch store open so you can buy probably one of the t-shirts that we've never actually mentioned in the episodes, because I feel like what a good way to say fuck you to our fans. It's not offering them the things that we've offered them. No, we're going to have a few t-shirts, maybe some other types of merch. We will also be going to an every other week schedule. So we will not have necessarily a weekly release. We might have a few fun episodes in between our standard releases where, like, me, John, and Mark do an episode. We might have a few quickies in between there. We might have some guest episodes. We'll just kind of fill you guys in as we go. But the standard schedule will be going to a bi-weekly thing. And
I'm sure to all of our listeners' shock and awe that this podcast doesn't pay any bills. In fact, it accrues costs. And we all work other jobs and we have other things going on. So just for ease and to ensure that we can continue making content for you, we're going to go to a bi-weekly release, which we did originally.
Yeah.
I think we did a weekly release for quite some time. But just to make sure we can keep it going and keep everything else in balance, we're going to go back to the bi-weekly for now. Yeah, maybe we can have more time to do some of the other stuff that we always said we wanted to do but couldn't.
Fingers crossed.
Well, listeners, have you seen Leprechaun Returns? Let us
have you
know.
experienced Leprechaun Returns?
It's an experience. Let us know what you thought of it on our social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can also find more of our content at www.thegravetalk.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.